Tudo bem, pessoal? Eu sou o Alan dos Santos, aqui do canal Terça Livre, e hoje eu tenho a alegria de entrevistar, tô um pouco tremendo aqui, mas eu tenho a alegria de entrevistar a atriz Andrea Brooks, do seriado When Calls the Heart.
Who's that statue? That's a mountain.
I was only walking through your neighborhood, saw you light on honey in the cold. I stood.
Hi, Andrea. How's it going?
Hello, it's going so well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really thank you and all your staff because you were so kind to me. I asked you for an interview, and you said yes. That's amazing. We are a big fan. I started to watch When Calls the Heart because my wife indication. So my wife said, there's something romantic. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but can you watch with me? And I say, okay, I prefer wars and games. And then I say, okay, let's do it. Let us watch When Calls the Heart. And then I got, amazed, in love. And I say, whoa, look at this. That's amazing.
So thank you to your wife.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank my wife.
That's
So
fantastic.
tell us a little bit about your career and how it started. Your career started on When Calls the Heart. When you really pop up.
Sure. Well, I started acting professionally when I was about 15, and I was actually a competitive figure skater, and there was an audition for a figure skating Disney movie. And I got asked to go do that, and I ended up auditioning again and again for that movie for the lead role, as it turned out. And by the end of the audition rounds, I didn't end up getting the role, but in doing that, I ended up with an agent, and I had interest in the casting directors in town, and from there I just started auditioning, and I've never really stopped. So that's how I started. It was quite a young age, but I think it was a good age, and I'm still acting now. So that's how I began.
That's fine. It's so amazing because I need to tell you something very, very true, okay? When you started on When Calls the Heart, my wife said, oh no, I can't believe that she's going to steal Jack Thornton from Elizabeth Thatcher.
Let me help you, miss.
Jack.
Faith.
Oh, believe me, I know. I got a lot of mail after those episodes aired. A
Oh,
lot.
really?
Oh, yeah. And I think I came on the show. It's interesting. I've always been very curious about the old times. I've always wanted to act in time period projects. So
Okay,
when this
yeah.
started in season 1, I remember hearing about it and thinking, oh, this is something I would love to be on. I auditioned for a few roles before Nurse Faith. So I think I read for Julie Thatcher, Elizabeth's sister, and I think there was another role as well, and they didn't work out, but I was told, oh, they like you, there's interest, so I just kind of forgot about it. And then when Nurse Faith came up, that role was offered, and I sort of thought, okay, it's maybe not as good as some of the other roles, but seems like a great show.
Yeah.
And when I went in, I remember reading it and going, oh, I don't think people are going to like this, because anytime you're a character that gets in between a major love interest in a show, you kind of have to watch out. But I think when I got to set and I worked on the project, we had a wonderful director for those 2 episodes, and getting to work with Danielle Lissing, they really helped guide me in making sure that I didn't play the role in a negative way, and she's a very positive person, and they really helped give me an understanding of what the show was about. So I think it was a fine line, but I think I really aimed to play her very likable, because she is a likable character with a lot of integrity.
Yes.
And yeah, so we were able to play it in a way that didn't turn her into a villain, but I know that a lot of people were very worried at the same time, because anytime, again, that you take a love interest's eyes away for even a second, people might not be so happy.
But I think you turn it up. I think you changed everything when you came back with your fiance, and we in Brazil we don't have yet the fifth season. Okay, well,
Oh,
I
okay,
know.
okay.
I
You know,
so so everything you're gonna say about the fifth season, it will be spoiler. Okay.
okay, got it.
So, and we are expecting the fifth season on the Netflix, and
Mhm.
I think you already answered my second question, because my second question would be, how did you feel when you were chosen for When Calls the Heart? But I guess you answered already, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I think I wonder if there's anything I could add to that. Um, it is fun. Anytime that there's a show, and I mean, living in Vancouver or Los Angeles, you're always aware of every single project that's shooting. It's always such an honor to end up on the show that you were kind of hoping that you would get a chance to work on. Um, so I think I can say I really worked. I wanted Faith to be likable, and I think you're right. I think I've already kind of answered that. But one of the things, as you've said, coming back in the third season, it really allowed me a chance to show other sides of her. You get to know a bit more about her backstory, about where she
Yeah.
came from. That's the other wonderful thing about working on a show like ours that goes so many seasons, is you get to live with the character for such a long time that you get to live through their own lives, and characters change and they grow and they form new relationships. And I think that's just one of the wonderful things about not only our show, but any show that goes on from season to season.
Yep. Sure. The next question is, what is similar between you and Nurse Faith? I mean, Andrea Brooks and Nurse Faith. What is similar, or there is nothing similar? I know it's period time. I mean, I know it's very different time, but
Mhm.
about the character, what is similar between you two?
I can definitely tell you what is not similar. Faith.
Yeah, that's
it's
easier.
it's always funny because when you play a professional person on TV, I play a nurse. I always get questions. People say, "Oh, do you have nurse training?" And the answer is no. Myself, I have some issues with the medical things. I'm not very good when it comes to needles or going to the doctor. So it's been very interesting for me to have to play a role like that, because I myself am a little bit terrified of those things. So that's been a kind of fun dynamic. So we're very, very different in that way. But I don't know. I think that Faith is very genuine. She has so much integrity. She's loyal. I like to think I share some of those qualities, but yeah, it's good. She's a good person.
Yes, she is, and it's kind because I didn't know about Janet Oak works. I started to look it up when I watched Love Comes Softly again. That was my wife indication, and then I got amazed. It's like, wow, there is something I used to say here for my audience in Brazil, that for me, Janet Oak is our Jenny Austin from America. Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
so nice.
yeah. They have Jenny Austin, and we have Janet Oak, and she's alive. It's like, oh my gosh, we need to take advantage on it, because imagine, how can we get someone live, right, living between us, writing so many books, and now we got a chance to see that on TV series. That's amazing. That's fantastic. And I would
Mhm.
like to ask you, okay, uh, how do you feel interpreting an Oak's character? I mean, I know she's very, very famous in America and in Canada. I think it's very heavy on your shoulder to get some of her character. And how did you feel with it?
Well, first of all, it's always an honor to get to portray a piece of a world that pre-exists in another form. So it's really neat to become an extension of someone's initial vision. But I think when you're doing a show, like a series like When Calls the Heart, you have to divorce yourself from it a little bit in order to trust your own instincts, because things kind of branch off and they extend beyond what exists in the book. So it's a fine balance of trying to pay tribute to it and also turn it into something new, because you can't have a book become a television series perfectly. It's not going to be exactly the same. There are going to be pieces of the stories that are better in the book form, and there are going to be pieces that are better represented on television. And so, yeah, I think there's a fine balance. I myself, I don't like to get too caught up in what exists in the book, because I like to walk into my scenes fresh. I think a lot of us do. But at the same time, we have such tremendous respect for Oak and the works that she's produced. And she's such an active part of the fandom and of the series. She's come to set a bunch of times, and she's come to the Hardy's family reunions, which are the fan conventions that we have. So she's absolutely an integral part to our show. But again, yes, it's about that balance and the differences between something that's a visual medium and something that you read.
Where's Frank this morning?
Elks Flats.
I hope he got a haircut. Let's pick it up.
Rolling.
Whoa. I will personally design your wedding gown. Gown.
Action.
This is the best part. And cut.
Great. What did they say? Somebody help me out here.
Roll sound.
One more try.
Can you tell us something that is very, very, very funny that we cannot get access because it's behind the scenes? Can you tell us something very, very funny behind the scenes?
Yes. Well, I can definitely tell you that Daniel Lissing and Paul Green, who is another Hallmark actor who ends up in our show in later seasons, so I won't give you any spoilers, but those two are such big, I know, that's all I'll say. But those two are some of the biggest tricksters. They're always pulling pranks on set, and it's just nonstop laughs and jokes. But one of the funny, oh my goodness, there's just so many stories. But our director, Martin Wood, who directed my first 2 episodes playing Faith, he actually carves out time in his day to pull pranks on actors while they're acting in scenes. And so he'll tell you, he'll be like, okay, you've done your coverage. Good job. We're going to go again. You'll go, okay, we'll shoot it again. But this time he'll tell the other actors to hide or something so that you'll open a door and they won't be there. And then you're still acting and you're like, what? And then the whole crew laughs at you. So, so I always think it brings such joy and levity to the work environment when he does that. And he does it all the time. So yeah, there's a lot of pranksters and jokes going on set. So it actually is a really fun place to work.
And playing with these kids, that would be amazing, right?
Oh, with the kids. Oh,
yeah.
So fun. And it's
so
fun
lovely
to work. It's lovely, and it's fun to work with them throughout the seasons, because every year you come back to start shooting and they're like inches taller. And like eventually the boys are going to be taller than me. It's very funny. They're all so talented and they're so sweet, and they have such lovely families, and they really, really love the show. And one of the things I like watching is they have such respect for Erin, who plays Elizabeth. And just getting to watch that dynamic in real life as well as the show is just really special.
Oh, that's cute. That's very
Yeah,
cute.
it's very, very cute.
So, did you know that When Calls the Heart has lots of fans in Brazil?
I, you know what? I didn't know that. But then again, I feel like on Twitter and on Instagram, I feel like I see a lot of people saying, hi from Brazil, hi from Brazil. So I feel like maybe I was aware, but I didn't know the extent of it.
Yeah, the extent of it was so big that recently Silvio Santos, the owner of the second largest TV station in Brazil, praised it When Calls the Heart.
Gente, o outro que nós vimos,
que ele é muito
outro
bom.
que é mais romântico.
Eu recomendo para todo mundo, para
Qual
todas
é?
as famílias. É When Calls the Heart.
Quando
É lindo.
chama o coração.
Tá, todo mundo aqui já
Quando
assistiu,
chama o coração, é isso?
Quando chama, quando
muito
chama o
bom.
coração.
Tá.
Muito bom.
Nós vimos as três. Vai chegar a quarta.
Esse é muito bom.
A quarta temporada vai chegar e vai
bem
chegar a
recomendado.
quinta.
Nós
Já
dois
estão fabricando a Quando Chama o Coração.
Quando chama o
Muito
coração.
bom. Essa série é
Lindo,
espetacular.
lindo, lindo.
Oh,
I mean, that's pretty special. That's one of the interesting things about this job is we work so hard during the season to create everything, and then we put it out in the world. And then it's not that you forget about it, but your job is kind of over. Once you've finished acting, you've finished your scenes, and then it goes off to be edited. So it really is fascinating to see the afterlife of these shows. And there truly are fans from all over the world. I've met people from Japan and Germany and China and Brazil. It really is something special to be a part of when you see the reach that this series has.
yeah. Thank you, Netflix. Thank you very much.
Yes, I know. Netflix, getting the international Netflix deal, I think, has made a big difference for us. And it's so exciting.
Another question that I really want to make is how do you feel to work together with Laurie Loughlin? She's wonderful.
She is so wonderful. Well, first of all, I was a huge Full House fan growing up.
Me too.
I loved Aunt Becky. I loved every character on that show. So finding out that I was going to be working with her was very exciting. And I can honestly say that she is one of the most genuine, generous, lovely actors. She's a lovely actor. She's a lovely human being. And she lifts everyone's spirits. She makes the show so special. And I just couldn't imagine anyone else playing the role of Abigail. She's truly, truly a gem of an actor.
Yeah, that's it. So thank you very much again. Our interview is going to end, and I would like to talk with you for a long time, but I know that's it. Thank you very much, Andrea Brooks, and God bless you, really.
Oh, bless you too. Thank you so much for having me. That was so fun.
Okay, bye-bye.